Wait, that room wasn't there before, I don't think. Nev, or Harding, must have put my pack here. Makes sense. Better place to sleep than the infirmary. Guess I can spare a few moments to unpack my things. The on-time commander I took this from thought occupying Treviso was the same as owning it. I showed him how wrong he was. Freed a bunch of prisoners that night, including Varric. That's also the night the Crows kicked me out of Antiva for carrying out unauthorized operations. It was the right thing to do, but it did bring the on-time down hard on the Crows. I probably could have made fewer waves. Varric and his life lessons. I asked him how we were supposed to stop Solus, and he gave me this. Take a long, hard look in it, kid. It'll always show the face of a hero who can get it done. A damn good-looking hero, if I do say so. A peddler gave me this after I saved his caravan from bandits. He told me the scroll went back to even before Tevinter. Said that elves had a rich history, even more than the rest of us. That history looked better before Elganon and Gillenane came back and started blighting everything. The ever-turning orb. My final training project as an apprentice. I spent months finding the precise balance of energy flows to make the enchantment permanent. I'm amazed this thing still works, seeing how many times I messed up the magic and broke something. But I got there eventually. Right. That's better. Now, how do I connect to Solus? Just sleep or... Oh, relaxing. Maybe if I clear my mind...
Back so soon. It must have been worse than I had thought.
Hello, Dreadwolf.
Ah, but perhaps I am mistaken. You may be here to correct me, to tell me that my concerns were unfounded. You could not possibly be here to take advice from the one you called the Elven God of Lies.
This has been a big week for running into things I didn't think were possible.
You are adapting quickly?
I need to know what the gods are planning.
You are asking for knowledge no mortal in this world is privy to. If I am to share it with you, I need to know what makes you the right person to lead the fight against Elganon and Gillenane.
I'm not in charge of everyone. I'm just leading my little team until Varric is back on his feet.
I understand your fear. Declare yourself the leader, and others may think you power-hungry. No better than those you oppose.
I didn't say I was afraid. Back in the Crows, I had to deal with the Antam invasion. One night, I saw a unit getting ready to transport prisoners to another city. It was way too large for us to hit.
But you did so anyway, using unconventional tactics to confuse the Antam and free the prisoners.
How do you know that?
You helped Varric pursue me for the better part of a year. It would have been foolish not to learn about who was hunting me.
Then you know I'm not interested in a fancy title. But when something needs doing, I do it.
I suppose I was not so different when I started.
Started what?
My rebellion against the Evanuris. The Elven gods, as you call them. They wish to reclaim their dominion over this world. To accomplish that, they will need two things. First, the Blight. What exists in this world is a bare fragment of its power. The rest is imprisoned, until they release it.
The rest of the Blight is imprisoned? There's more than what's in the world already?
Yes. Centuries ago, the Magisters of Tevinter opened my prison. A tiny fragment of the Blight escaped. That fragment grew beneath the earth and led to the Blights that have swept across the world. However terrible the Blight is now, it is a mere fraction of what we will see if its full power is unleashed.
The Blight didn't escape with the gods?
Elganan and Gillenane escaped largely empty-handed, fortunately. Most of the Blight is still trapped in the prison I created ages ago.
So what we saw at the village, that's them not at full strength?
Correct.
I don't understand. Elganan and Gillenane were elves like you, right? Why would they want to blight the world?
It is my fault. As the Dread Wolf, I was a thorn in their side. When my efforts weakened their grasp on the elven people, they grew frustrated, then desperate.
And turned to the Blight.
Once the corruption took hold of them, they were blind to its horror. It was just another source of power for them. Now they would blight the world without hesitation and call us backward and foolish for opposing them.
What would they need to do to free the Blight? And how do we stop them from doing it?
They will need to pierce the veil to reach the Blight's prison. My lyrium dagger is one of the few artifacts capable of doing so.
We've already recovered it from the ritual site.
Excellent. Then they will have to make their own. That will give you time.
You said the gods needed two things, and the Blight is the first? What's the second?
Followers. They have called themselves gods. And what is a god without worshippers to sing their praises?
I'm not gonna bend a knee to blighted, murdering monsters just because their ears are pointed like mine. I don't think many other elves are going to either.
Agreed. Elganan and Gillenane care little for the elves. They will find worshippers among those hungry for power. Tyrants and bullies. The cruel and the corrupt, who fear their own vulnerability and seize any chance to feel strong. If you hunt them, they will lead you to Elganan and Gillenane.
Thank you. I'll go poke at the cruel and corrupt, and we'll see what we find.
The Veravas, the lighthouse Soluvian, can take you anywhere, if you master its secrets. Have you done so?
Not yet, but we've got one of the Veil Jumpers working on it. She'll get it sorted, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes. I suppose we will. And when you speak with Varric, please tell him that I regret what happened.
So Solus told the truth about the gods.
You heard? It's bad, Varric. If you'd seen Demeter's crossing.
The team needs to act fast. And it can't do that with me leading from a bed. You've got to take point on this.
I didn't come in here trying to take your job, Varric.
I know you didn't, but it's what the team needs right now.
You sure? Nev got hurt because she listened to me.
Rook, when I put this team together, what did I look for? A detective to find the Dreadwolf, and a scout to get us the lay of the land. Exactly the people he'd expect me to recruit. Disciplined, predictable. And then there's you. Remember when we first met, kid? I watched you pick apart an entire Antom patrol in Treviso. They outnumbered you 20 to 1.
They were overconfident. I took advantage.
Which no one else did. Crows didn't appreciate the heat it brought down, but you've got a knack, kid.
For what?
Finding a way through the wildest shit I've ever seen. With a plan that no one expects. On the best day of his life, Solus wouldn't see you coming, Rook. And don't worry. I'll still be here to talk if you need me.
I'll let you get some rest.
You're gonna be fine, Rook. Hey, one last thing before you go. I've been racking my brain thinking of contacts who might help us with these gods.
You got any ideas?
Nothing. But being a leader isn't about having all the answers yourself. It's about knowing who does. Nev has connections to a whole world that Harding and I barely know. Might be worth talking to her.
Will do. Thanks, Varric.
Anytime. I wish I could be out there with you, Rook.
Nev? You've got wisps.
Yeah, they came with the place. But you're here for leads. You want allies to go after the gods? I've got places to look, if we can get anywhere but Arlathan.
Balara's working on it. What have you got?
Let's start with the angles we know. The gods are corrupt magic personified. Who do we hire to fight that? First, the Antivan Crows. We've got you. But if one assassin's good...
Why not two? You have someone in mind?
Your most feared mage killer, the Demon of Virantium.
A specialist. Between the two of us, maybe we can find a godly weakness.
Here's hoping. The demon got his nickname taking out blood mages and Venatori. There's been fewer stories in recent years, but your bosses would know.
The Talons? They're gonna give me an earful.
If you want to look elsewhere.
I'll set up a meeting. What else?
A trip home.
Back to Minrathous.
Capital city and heart of Tevinter. An empire of mages that knows a thing or two about corrupt magic.
Tevinter Authority...
Won't help and can't be trusted, which is why we talk to the Shadow Dragons. They're a resistance group that fights slavers, blood magic, and imperial corruption. They've got eyes and ears everywhere, including mine. If the gods enter the Empire, we might get something. Besides, I owe them an update.
These people sound great. I mean, if they're anything like you.
No one's as good as they seem. But they try.
So, we talk to the Crows in Antiva and the Shadow Dragons in Minrathous.
I wouldn't mind checking in on my neighborhood either. If Balara's ready for us.
Yeah. Should check how things are going.